We are back with a brand new episode of The Pieces, and this is the first time we've got a double whammy because I have brought back the legend, the icon, Danielle St. Dani St. James.
Oh my God, hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you. Thank you for coming. We're going to get into a lot of different stuff, but I just want to know how you're doing.
I'm good, you know. We are, at time of recording, we are in the middle of Trans Awareness Week, which for me is like Christmas from Santa's workshop sort of vibes. So yeah, really busy, which is great, but ready to sort of like slow things down a little bit for the festive period. How are you?
I'm good. I just got back from trekking the Sahara, so I'm feeling...
I can't believe you did that.
I know. Anything for the plot, you know?
Anything for the cause.
Anything for the cause.
You're just a giver.
It was amazing, but it was exhausting, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And did you know there's no service in the desert?
What, nothing?
Nothing.
Anyway, how long were you without service?
4 days. It was amazing.
That's
I kind
like
of
going
loved
to
it.
prison.
I felt anxious when I went to turn my phone on to get service because I was like, oh my God, what's it going to be like?
Oh my goodness. The only thing I can think of that I've done that's comparable to that is when I had my face done, I tried to log out for a few days and it made me like, I just wanted to know what was going on.
How was that though?
I think it's 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So you know how pain just becomes kind of like a memory of something that happened, but you don't really remember what it felt like. That's what it is for me. I did look crazy for about a year afterwards as well. Like the swelling really sticks around for like a year after, and I gained so much weight after as well. My weight yo-yos anyway, but yeah, I basically just sat around with a big fat head stuff in my face for a few months.
And rightly so.
And I came out feminine and round.
And not getting kicked out of Dubai.
And not getting kicked out of Dubai.
I love that. No, it's such an amazing thing for trans people to have.
Oh, I was so lucky. I was really lucky. And I went to this surgeon who's actually no longer with us. Oh. But I went to a surgeon that I had always dreamed of going with. And like pull the curtain back, I actually got it through a bit of like an influencer special. I got a big discount on my surgery if I shared it online. But I used every penny that I had and I just got it done. I wanted it for years and years and years. And then after COVID, I just thought, I just need to get it done. I'm just doing it. And off I went to Antwerp.
How did it make you feel after? Now you've had it and...
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think that like the difference between before and now is so drastic. But yeah, it's just part of it, isn't it? Like little tweaks and stuff as you go along. I actually tried to get a quote a couple of months ago to have half a facelift. I wanted a little lower facelift.
I want one as well.
Yeah. I got a quote from, I tried to get a quote from the same clinic because they have a different team of surgeons now. But they said I was too young. I'm too full of collagen.
True. I am. I want to get one. I'm chatting to someone in a minute, but I keep forgetting to reply.
What age are you?
32.
Oh, okay. So you're younger than me.
Yeah.
They said that they would not operate on me until I was 35.
Ageist.
Yeah. And they said anyone that does any type of facelift on anyone below the age of 35 should be stripped of their license. See, the guy was like, there is no way you're having a facelift. So, because what it was, I had a centimetre of bone taken off the whole of my jaw and my chin. I used to have a big old stonking jaw. It was like a bike seat, the shape of my face. And so I had loads of jaw taken off. But as a result of that, my jaw's just not as tight as it once was in my ute.
You'll stick it on the chin though.
I still do, though.
But how is that for the feeling of like when it finally just you feel like you?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's the best ever. I still do my little, like injectable top ups and maintenance of it all and lock it in place so it doesn't fall to the floor. With the other surgeries that I had prior to facial feminization surgery, for me, it felt like the end of a surgical route that I had taken. And it was more of a sense of relief than anything else.
Oh, amazing though. But and it was painful, you said.
Oh my God. Well, actually, the surgery wasn't, but I had an infection like 10 days after. Oh, it was dreadful. I'm not even going to go to the details because it's so graphic. But my face swole. I was like a toad. It like filled up. It was really bad. That was painful. That was really painful. And there was a moment where I looked in the mirror in the like mid-infection. My mum came down from Wales and I went, I used to be a model. I've ruined it. I have ruined my face.
Linda.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And so I thought I'd ruined it.
I thought that was going to be like that forever.
Yeah, I looked deranged, Bim. But yeah, no, it's fine now.
But you look stunning now.
Woman of the Year.
Yeah. Well, that's on here. But I'm actually going to start with the first question.
Okay, tell me.
I want to go into what's a formative moment that made you feel like the person you are today.
Do you know what? I thought of a few different ones. I need to tell you a story of when I was 17. I went into this gay bar in Cardiff, where I'm from. It was like a Wednesday evening, early, like 7 o'clock. And I walked into this bar and I saw this person sat on a high table who was the most interesting looking person I'd ever seen in my whole life. And in Wales, like there's not a lot of interesting things going on in Wales, especially like mid-2000s. And I just could not stop staring at this person. And she had these great, big, enormous implants, but a shaved, like cropped hair, covered in tattoos, including on her head. Stunning face, but like was really androgynous. I actually like couldn't tell what their, what their situation was. I had no idea. And me, age 17, having had previously just completely idolized people like Bowie and Boy George and all of life's great gender benders, it was blowing my mind that somebody like this was in like a weird little gay bar in Cardiff in the middle of the evening, midweek. Anyway, I ended up talking to her, the person I now know to be somebody called Danielle St, who is a world famous porn star. And I, at the age of 17, again, I could not really piece together why she was in Cardiff with this man. American. She's from, I think, LA. And I'm like, why are you here? Turns out she was also a working girl and she was on tour around Europe. Right. But the hints that she was dropping to tell me that's what was happening, I just could not pick up on. I didn't know what she meant. When she said,
what are you working for?
Literally. Yeah. What, like British Gas?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that she was like a lady of the night that was on tour around Europe and the UK. And this man that she was with, who was like this weedy little guy, was one of her clients. I just had I could not work it out. Anyway, the reason I say that this was so formative, I ended up talking to her for maybe an hour and asking her all these questions about like everything. I was so intrigued by her. And she leaned across the table and she went, oh, you know you're trans, right? And at this point, I was like, gay boy with jet black dyed hair. And I was probably sat there in like a little shirt and trousers. And I remember being like, no. I'm thinking like, there was something that happened there. It was formative. A penny dropped where it was like the illusion had been shattered. And the fact that this person could just see who I was without any of the stuff that came in very quick succession afterwards. Also, I began transitioning that year. Like It all happened really quickly. Meeting her and seeing myself in somebody, we years later we went on to reconnect, and we still stay in touch now. And it's so funny that like me just running into this working girl in Cardiff in 2008 or something, just completely changed everything. Like changed my trajectory.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you like at the time? Did you know how it was going to impact you?
No, I didn't. And it was also around the time that I was like sneaking into clubs, and I had just started to meet trans people for the first time ever. My lived experience, I'm from like Barry Island at the bottom of Wales.
Big up Barry.
Yeah. My school had 350 people in it. Like I lived in this like sheltered Welsh life, and the internet, yes, arguably had kicked in by that point, but not in the way that we now know it.
Dial up.
Yeah. Like
get off the phone. I need to call you auntie.
Yeah, the lime wire of it all.
Yeah.
And I just started to piece together the fact that being a gay boy was a costume that I was wearing, and I was essentially just looking around at what I could see was a gay boy and copying it as best I could. I still have tattoos that I got because they were on gay people that I met. And I was just copying them, like their clothes. I remember writing down what people in Queer as Folk were wearing and then asking my mum for those things. Because I was like, that's what gay people wear.
That's what
I'll
they
wear
look
that.
like.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
That's what they look
Them
like, that lot.
gays. Yeah. However, as soon as I knew trans people, I knew myself and I stopped copying. I stopped looking around for reference and I started acting off of instinct. So completely changed everything.
Well, I love that. And I mean, you've gone on to do some incredible things. I mean, you said about me doing the trek, but you literally started a charity. We spoke about Not Afraid on the last episode. But I just want to go into it a bit because I don't know if we spoke about it at that time, like the landscape of LGBTQ plus charities right now.
Yeah.
Like there has been a shift. It is quite out there for everyone to see with Pride and many different things, but funding has been taken away. You know, there was a time when Not Afraid, it was like,
oh, Bims, listen,
turn that round.
We turned it around.
Yeah.
We really did this. I mean, when I use the word we as well, not even just us as in my team, but we community turned it around. I had this moment towards around the start of April of this year where I was looking at our finances and realizing that if something didn't happen, we would last until July. We had a couple of months left in us because off the back of the new administration in the US, all of our big funders who were international, basically what we don't often talk about in the UK is that any global corporation that has a big operation in America is very likely to have a federal contract. And so that might be a sportswear manufacturer that make DAPs for people that work in refuge centers or whatever it is. They all have federal contracts. And the new US administration that came in at the end of last year put out a thing where basically like DEI is cancelled. Any initiative that prioritizes diversity through any of our suppliers, we will pull our contract with you unless you drop that initiative.
Wow.
So some of our biggest funders that we have year on year come to just fully rely on dropped us. And it was like, not only were we being dropped, but conversations were being ignored.
Ignored, yeah.
Everything went quiet. For the first time in years. I mean, we started in 2020 and we have gone strength to strength to strength to strength. And then all of a sudden, nobody wanted to talk to us anymore. Being trans was not cool anymore. You know, crickets. And also, obviously, we inherited a government that I'm really careful with the way I talk about political things. The only thing I will say is that it is always the case that America gets a cold and the UK sneezes.
Yeah.
And the sentiment of of what's going on over there has been echoed by the UK. And so, yeah, it was rough. It was really, really rough. And it was very sad to have to admit defeat. I'm a really proud person. And I'm fully prepared to admit that I'm quite often driven by ego and pride. Yeah. And I had this team meeting with my team where I said to them, like, look, I need your guys' input. It's not looking good. Here's the situation. We're going to have to pause all the services to try and extend the longevity of the organization. We're going to have to do this. However, I need you all to have a think about this and come back to me. And a member of my team who is like my right hand in absolutely everything essentially called me out on it and said, no, we need you to start being publicly more honest. We need you to start telling people that we're struggling. I think the thing that I came to terms with in those moments was that I do a good job at making things look a lot easier than they are. And we have had to fight for every success, every penny in the account. You know, we really do have to graft for it. And I do not put out an external image of a struggle to make that happen. And I'm glad about that. I'm glad that we are known as this like optimistic source of joy for the community at a time that's very difficult. We don't highlight bad news. We don't highlight the inequalities that we face. But there was also a point where I just had to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
And I was really glad to have been for him to have said that to me because it changed everything. I put out a statement where I was essentially saying, we need your help or it's not going to last. And thank God people love what we do. They really do. And we can really feel it. When the fear was there that we were gonna go bust, all of a sudden this huge surge happened, and it was coincidental timing that the Supreme Court ruling came out around the same time, and loads of people said, no, we're not letting this happen. Nicola Coughlan did this huge fundraiser for us.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I love her so much. Yeah. Which raised 130 grand. Self-Esteem did one. Loads of people started fundraising for us. And then companies that had either previously dropped us or previously not worked with us started to re-engage and say, okay, we didn't realize we're here to help. And we had a really big surge in support. And what that allowed us to do was on the day of London Pride this year, you were there, we announced not only a 5-year strategy of how we're going to deliver this message, but a 5-year commitment to the community that we are going to be here and we are going to prioritize joy as an act of resistance, which was the title of our mission.
I mean, just to go from we've got 3 months left to a 5-year plan because of like the power of the people coming together. And how did that make you feel? Because obviously you'd have probably had to let go a lot of shame or pride about it, because you're like, shame is a big barrier that holds back on loads of stuff. You don't want to say, oh, this is like that. Like, so you struggled with that side of it. So how did it feel like coming out and being so public about it and then seeing that response? How did it make you feel?
It really humbled me, first of all. And to be really honest with you, it relit a fire in me that I could feel had gone out. I had spent, at that point, I had spent 5 years really working on this. Mm-hmm. And I think I was tired. I think I was really knackered of the fight. And at the point that it had gotten to when I put that video out saying that we were struggling, I think if it had all ended in the mindset that I was with, I would have just felt like a failure and moved on. Yeah. And then with what happened afterwards, it reminded me that that there is still so much work to be done. Mm-hmm. And I'm really, really glad that I've been given the opportunity to be central to that work. And just kind of the person that connects the dots. I've got like phenomenal people that work with us. And so, yeah, that's what I would say would be the main thing that came off the back of it for me was this reignition of extreme passion to create positive change for people like us, you know, and like really, really help people. And that passion actually reminds me a lot of when it all began. This year reminds me of when it all began. You know, like think about 2020 and what was going on. It was like the year of social justice. Yeah. And it was the year where among multiple movements taking place at the same time, where so many people said, we're not going to let this happen. That is happening right now. Yeah. So it's really reassuring. And the good thing is we've got like 5-6 years behind us now of experience and knowledge, of course, and connections to say, right, here's how we're going to move forward. We're working really closely with some great organisations now that are making change in ways that we don't. Good Law Project, the Trans Solidarity Alliance. Mm-hmm. You know, there is some really amazing work happening, and we get to do the bit, which is alleviating the isolation and the stress of some of the people that this is really affecting.
And it is vital work, and the fact that there was a possibility of losing that amongst everything that's going on, it's devastating to think of. So I'm so glad that we're not there.
We're here,
you get
babes.
to continue and live for 6 more. Well, you'll keep after that, but 6-year plan, 5-year plan.
I think the thing is with a charity that you have to accept when you set one up is a charity is not a private company. Yeah, I have no ownership over Not Faith. It's not mine. Yeah, and there's something really beautiful in that because it's kind of like folding up a paper airplane and throwing it out to do its own flight. I get to still be there. I'm kind of like the wind behind the plane now. Yeah. But at some point, I will have the honor of handing it to the next person and saying, okay, I took it this far. Now you take it the distance. You go to the next bit. Because there's only so far that my ammunition and my drive and my motivations are going to carry it to where it's going. And that's really cool. And I don't think that that's anytime soon. But, you know, within a few years or 5 years, whatever it is, I'm going to get to hand something over to probably a younger person and say, go. Yeah. You know, that's so exciting. Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, listeners, I know that you know Not Phased, but if you don't, go follow them. Vital and amazing, and donate if you can. I want to get into the Glamour Awards because I'm sat with Woman of the Year.
Woman of the Year, honey.
How does that feel?
Mad. Mad.
Yeah.
I mean, what a crazy, crazy situation to have happened. It was kind of crazy because basically the first time that I had come into contact with Glamour was over a pint in a pub in Margate with one of their editorial directors.
And to me, that is glamour.
Absolute glamour. Yes. Connected with her, she had said to me, look, I've got this idea for this like big visible moment for Glamour to publicly reaffirm its commitment to the trans community, because Glamour have actually got an amazing history of working with us. She asked me if I would be a consultant on the project and if I would not only obviously be part of the awards, but also if I would kind of piece together what the lineup of people around me would look like.
Amazing.
Yeah, which was really cool. And I got to bring together, there was 8 of us, and there was such a wide array of experiences within that 8, like all different ages, ranging from I think 20 all the way up to, I'm not going to name one person's age who was the oldest, it wasn't me. But all different lived experiences also, you know, and different professions. I got Sean involved as well.
Love Sean.
Sean did the write-up for it, which was amazing because it was like, how often do trans people get to interview trans people in mainstream publications?
Yeah.
Which means that it was written in a way that was not objective about us. It was like from a known place, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Sean's just a phenomenal writer, and she sat down with each of us on set that day and interviewed all of us and used that to write the piece.
Amazing.
Yeah. When do we get opportunities like this?
Like, no, that's so rare. Like, a trans person interview a trans person that's organised by a trans person.
Yeah, it doesn't
Iconic.
happen.
Does not happen because that's a big issue, because you're not hearing the real story. You're not hearing people that are living authentically or living the experience that you're hearing on the media or wherever else you're hearing it.
Yeah. It was a really tight turnaround also. I
love a tight turnaround.
Love it. I found out about it just before we went to Malta. Yeah. Literally like a couple of days before we flew. And we shot I got back from Malta on the Saturday. We shot the cover on the Monday. And then I think it was out 3 weeks later. It was really, really tight, the turnaround. And then the awards were the day after the cover went live. So it was like crazy. And the day that the cover went out was where the controversy began.
She who must not be named.
Well, yeah, amongst others, I hate giving her too much of airtime in anything that I do. And that goes for her.
I'm like, she must have some sort of news alert that has something.
She's mentally ill.
Yeah, she has a news alert that's like, oh, it's been mentioned in the press, and she just sat there reading it because it's like it was within minutes.
She is an example of somebody being radicalized by a confirmation bias that exists on platforms like Twitter or X. Because she began from a centrist position that I would argue is actually completely fair to stoke a conversation from, which was, I remember it. She said, trans people, I would march in the streets for your equality. However, we need to have a conversation about how your rights affect the rights of women when it comes to, I think she was specifically talking about like crisis centers and clinics. That is a conversation that it should be had. We can have it.
We can have it, yeah.
Absolutely can have that conversation. And we can find a place that ends up working for all of us.
Yep.
We'll get there. The trajectory of that through to where she is today is crazy. And that is radicalization. The reason I very, very rarely use her name is because I just think that it's kind of done. And also she is a symptom of a problem. She's not the problem. The thing that separates her is obviously her extreme wealth and platform.
Yeah.
But there are other examples of it. Other examples of it also went after us after that cover. We had her, Piers Morgan, who, by the way, a year and a half before had a producer reach out to me and ask if I'd be a correspondent on his show. We were a debate topic on Fox News in America. Daily Mail did a hit piece on us, not just as a cover and as an award, but also as each individual one of us. They went after us. And amongst that was just the absolute furor that was stoked by lots of people wanting to talk about it. Yeah. I knew that something would happen. I knew there'd be backlash, but I don't think I expected the volume of it. I will say none of it penetrates me because I'm that bit older. I've had it before. I've experienced it firsthand and secondhand before. But there were people who were on that cover who were a lot younger than me. And the hatred. And it hurt them. Yeah. It really hurt them. And we also, listen, we don't need to get too into it, but we also got backlash from trans people. that said that we were too possible, too privileged, too pretty. I mean, all things which arguably I would say are completely subjective. And they were also going, it felt like we couldn't catch a break after it.
Was it they said too visible?
Too visible, too privileged, too pretty, too passable. Like there was people going for jabs of all of it. I think that passability is a really gross conversation, and I really don't enjoy having it because I think that it's completely subjective, and I actually think it's a complete myth. And it is also a lot of the conversation around passability, I think, is deep rooted in self-hatred, because I even hate the word, because I'm like, I'm not trying to pass as anything that I'm not. And therefore, like, to say that I have passing privilege, I just think it's a completely redundant thing to say. So it was disappointing. We were getting, you know, it was like bloody clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right.
Here I am stuck in the middle again.
There we go. Yeah.
So I want to talk a bit about personal reinvention. I mean, earlier on we spoke about some surgical enhancements that we all get to do, and I definitely would want an eye lift. But like, we are newly single.
Yes.
And how do we feel?
Good. Yeah, I left my marriage at the end of March this year. So what, about 8 months after that? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. The dating world has changed.
How long were you together?
Nearly 6 years.
Yeah.
I knew him since I was 21, and we obviously had a very like visible relationship. We shared a lot, and we also had a very big visible wedding. And so to have chosen to leave a marriage 18 months after a wedding that I had put so much into, I think that the fear of that held me back from not doing it a little bit sooner. Thankfully, I've managed to cultivate a friendship with him since. It took a while. I had to do this. I did a period of no contact of 5.5 weeks where we had zero contact. I actually blocked him on everything because we still live nearby each other as well. And we had a period where I was like, I have to be able to heal from this.
Yeah, totally.
And so on the flip side of that, we're doing really well. We get to talk. He works at the charity, so I work with him. And we have conversations that is like, it's so funny. I ran into him in the street the other day and I hugged him and said hello. And we were having this chat, and whilst he was talking, all I was thinking was like, it's like running into someone that I used to be best mates with and now we're not friends.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre how you can go from having a shared life with someone and then it's completely different, because when you leave a marriage or even just like a very long-term relationship, you don't only leave a person, you leave this version of your life that you were so sure that it was going to happen.
And it's what you're doing for so long. It's like, it's every day you wake up and it's the same kind of thing. Like you do.
That was mainly one of the big issues. That it was the same every day. Yeah.
And we love a bit of spontaneity.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm experiencing a lot of things for the first time, and I also now am looking at the world kind of differently around me, because who knows where I'll end up? Who knows what I'll do, who I'll be with, if I'll be with anyone. There's something interesting that has happened this time around. I think that I spent 10 years before I got with my ex-husband so desperate for someone to love me that when he did, I shelved everything that I needed from a person. And I think that I had been operating from it was like I was starving, and then I ate not the first meal, it sounds bad. I just took what was there.
Yeah.
And I didn't prioritize what I needed. And that led to a lot of pain. And so now I've got this really lovely life that's really, really full. And that's not where I was before him.
Yeah.
I was in the depths of, especially like just partying before him. And now I'm having a little bevy again after 5 years of sobriety, which again is a positive thing. I've got a really full social life. I have got a great job. I've got my own place, living alone for the first time. And I've got my lovely dogs. I just don't, there's not a man-shaped hole right now. So if somebody was to join my life, it would be alongside me, not to fill a gap, which is great.
I mean, that's an incredible place to get to. And it shows growth and healthiness. Like, you know your boundaries and you know what you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. And I've been having fun dating. I've had a fun summer.
Okay, we'll get into the dating. Give me the reality. What's it been like? How's it been? You kissed a few frogs?
I've kissed a few frogs, a few princes.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying it actually. But I think I'm only enjoying it because I'm not trying to get anything really out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. I think if I was, I think it would be a lot harder. I speak to especially my trans friends, and they are just in the absolute pits because they, especially the ones that have been single for years, they hate dating. Whereas I'm like, I'm having the best time because I'm not taking any of it seriously.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I've been out for lovely dinners. I've had lovely nights. I've just had a really fun time.
What's something that you learned about yourself during this period of dating? That you know what you want and you know that you're a baddie.
Kind of, yeah.
Good.
Look, listen, I'll be honest. When I left my marriage, my self-esteem was at an all-time low. I left unsure if anybody would even find me attractive again. I really was. I was so low. And I've really reconnected with myself over the course of this year, especially this summer. I feel so much happier at the minute than I have for a really long time. And if I was to walk into somebody's life now in any sort of substantive way, I know that I'm bringing a lot to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm bringing more than I'm taking at this point. So that puts me in a really good footing, I think, to meet someone if I was going to.
When would you say, in the dating world, when would you say someone goes from like maybe to absolutely not?
Oh, it takes almost nothing for me. My rose-tinted glasses will drop very, very quickly.
I wish mine did that.
I do you know what as well? Like our lovely friend Monroe said to me recently that she has never met anyone that gives somebody the girlfriend experience from day one like I do. Because I'm all in. I think I'm actually probably a bit of a love bomber. I'll work that out later in my life. I think I just hand myself over really quickly.
I do that.
Oh, take it all. Here's the key to the
Move
city.
in 2 weeks later.
Yeah. I show up in my wedding dress from the last wedding, just black. I go from like, here's the key to the city, have my whole life, to unfollow, delete your number, delete our conversation history, delete every picture with you instantly. And I never think about it again. I literally tune out and just move on to the next one. I was dating somebody, I won't give too many identifiables, for about 3 weeks recently. And do you know what made me literally overnight, I was like, oh, I'm done with this, is I said something to him about like consistency, let's say that. And his response to it was, I think I'm just not as emotionally intelligent as you. I left the following day. I've never seen him since.
Well, too right. Know your worth.
I went from spending days on end with this guy to just being like, oh, okay, I guess you're not. And for me, it was literally a case of like, oh, if that's how you feel about yourself, I don't want to be around you.
Amazing, though. That's a great place to be.
I'm out. Yeah. I'm literally out. Yeah, and I've only been through one bit of heartache since leaving the marriage.
Because I broke up with my partner of 2.5 years in January.
Yeah.
And I've also had the best 10 months. Get to know myself again.
We've had a good summer together.
We've had a
times
great
as well.
time.
We've had really fun times.
Many
this
fun
summer.
times. And I feel like, getting to know yourself again and like, knowing what you want.
Yeah.
I've actually not dated anyone. I've not dated the whole time.
Have you not?
Well, I've definitely done stuff, but like...
There have been soulmates of an evening.
Or a weekend, or,
To echo what you say, I have reconnected with a version of myself that not only did I not know existed, but also that I have now learned did not exist before my marriage. I have this like confidence in me that doesn't require alcohol, where I'm just like, I feel kind of sexy.
Yes, good.
You know what I mean?
Good.
I feel kind of
you
like...
are.
Ooh, like I feel a little bit. I think it's because I'm...
You went out in your nightie the other night.
into my back garden.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm like approaching my mid-30s. I'm not far off 34, and I just feel very sure of myself all of a sudden. I'm really happy.
That confidence is sexy, and sexiness is an attitude. And like you can carry it, and you can look like you can have the hottest person in the room, and if they've got a dry personality and they've got a shit attitude, I'm out. Well, maybe quickly see what goes on, and then we're out.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, a woman's got to eat.
But going on to that, so when we're dating and everything, I wanted to, for any of the listeners on here might not know, the chaser.
Okay, controversial opinion on the chaser.
Go on.
The chasers need to be loved. I think we need to love the chasers and stop berating them. There's this culture that exists within the trans community whereby if a man is outwardly trans attracted, we demonize them and we say like, chaser, I think that there is something really attractive about a man that says, this is what I am attracted to and I'm actively seeking it. I am 15 years in. I've been with men that keep you a secret. I've been with the guys that wouldn't acknowledge you if they were in a bar with their friends and you walk in and they've already stayed at your house 3 times. I've done it. I've been there.
Chaser in the sheets, hater in the streets.
That's it.
Something like that.
Yeah, there's something in that.
Workshop.
Yeah.
But that kind of vibe, I don't
song.
think that's cool, is it?
Look, it's 2 things at once. I think we need to stop shaming men that are trans attracted.
Of course, yes.
We really do. And because it's complete, also like the shaming of it all. It goes against what our whole message is. Like, why are we shaming these people for finding us attractive? There is a creepy type of chaser though. There is the ones where it's like, they would sleep with me or a ham sandwich in a wig. You. I'm joking.
I mean, I definitely like when I was 21 and I'd put a wig on, I looked at a ham sandwich and I had a chaser or 2.
You did. I remember that.
But it was a vegan ham.
There is a type of gentleman whereby it's solely about a body, and they are
a wig and a pair of fishnets.
They're allowing themselves access to a body through a lens of feminine attraction.
Yeah.
Which completely dehumanizes a trans person.
Yeah.
However, I will say my days of interacting with people like that came to an end probably 10 years ago because I think that I put out an energy that would never attract that. I think I'm far too proud of who I am to ever, they would not even come near me, let alone be received into my life. Mm-hmm. So they're invisible to me. The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist. So, love your local chaser, guys. Support them.
Heard it here first. Danielle St says, love your local chaser.
It's not a phase. Love your local chaser.
New tagline.
New campaign.
I saw a Halloween costume. It was the chaser. And it was like, like the fake ones. And it was quite funny.
Oh, okay. I thought it was somebody dressed up as a chaser.
But I know someone that wanted to do that. And I said, I don't think you should do that.
I think that's quite funny. I would dress up as a chaser.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
They actually are a chaser.
Oh, okay, fine.
Like
I say, the only thing is when it's just like so overly sexualized.
Fetishized.
I actually just find it boring.
Yeah.
I ran into a guy on the tube in Tottenham Court Road. And as I was walking through, it was like the Lizzie line platform. And I could see him from far away. And I was thinking, God, that man's attractive. He's so fit. And as he got towards me, he smiled. And I smiled back and I carried on walking. And then I looked back and he'd turned around and he was walking towards me. And he came over, bold as brass, asked me for my phone number. I gave it to him. We were chatting away. I told him really quickly, I always would, that I'm trans. He said that he'd never been with a trans person, but he was not against it, the whole thing. It was like completely normal. But I was thinking like, okay, we'll go for a date, we'll go for dinner, we can like hang out, whatever it is. And straight away it goes so sexual, bam, sex. And I'm like, you're only doing that because I'm trans. I know that you are. You don't have to do that with me.
Yeah.
And it just completely put me off. And
that's good because you're knowing your worth, there.
I just wished him all the best.
Yeah.
And I always do it by voice note. If I'm going to let somebody down, I always will send them a voice note and I will let them know, here's the reason I'm ending this conversation and I wish you all the best.
Have you seen those voice notes where someone does a dance to the voice?
Love. I hope one day there's chasers doing it to mine.
I want that as well. Right, Daddy, I love you and this has been amazing.
Oh no, is it over?
I know, I don't want it to be. But I've just got one final question for you.
Okay.
Where do you find your power?
I find it from knowing that things are going to be not only better, but great.
I saw that your quote in the Glamour.
Yeah.
It was incredibly beautiful.
And I mean it. I really do. I knew what it was like before of this absolute shitstorm. I knew it. And I know that life can be so much easier than this. So where do I find my power to keep going? It's by looking around. We are like drenched in talent and beauty and creativity and power. As a community, just me. You're drenched in something else. No, the community. It's like
the community.
It's so seeped in vibrancy, and that just, I just know it's going to be better. Everything that happens at the minute, it's almost like it just does not permeate my life because I'm like, God, that's going to be annoying, but we'll get back. Like it just, I just am not focused on it.
You're still here, you're still existing.
Exactly. Yeah. There's life in the old girl yet.
To paraphrase your quote in Glamour, it was, you've been there with better days. You know they will come.
I've experienced it.
You've experienced better days. And it's a beautiful way to look at it. Because it might feel shit right now and really heavy, but there are better days and we're going to get there.
Oh my God, Bims, we are going to get there. You know, I'll make it a quick version of this story. I got booked last March to do a speaking gig with Joanna Lumley. And it was one of the best days of my life. It was phenomenal. And after we had both been on stage separately, during my speaking bit, she sat directly in front of me and gave me eye contact in front of a whole auditorium of people for the entire time. I went to the bathroom and I came out of the cubicle and she was stood directly outside the cubicle and she grabbed both of my hands. She said, I knew I'd find you here. I was like, okay. She was about to throw me into the men's. No, she wasn't. She said, this is the woman. Get out. No, she didn't. No, she said, the entire time I listened to you talk, all I thought about was, that's really got you.
Yeah, it really got me.
She said, all I thought about was when I was a kid, my dad used to say, the darkest days come before the dawn. Things are going to be better than this.
Oh.
And then she squeezed my hands really tight and she went, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it was just, I remembered it pretty much every day since because it was so true. Like,
yeah. I mean, if Joanna Lumley had an intimate moment like that and spoke to me like that, I would remember it for the rest of my life. It's going to be there forever.
Amazing. And it was the perfect thing to say. And it was so true of what's currently going on. We are experiencing some of the darkest days, but it is going to be better. We are going to see liberation. We're going to experience full life. And I believe in that.
Dani St. James, thank you so much for coming on The Pieces. I love you.
I love you.